the Mango Power E, because being average is okay. So what is up, you guys? Welcome back to the lab. Today we are taking a look at the Mango Power E, a unit that has probably one of the coolest names. I just wish it was as cool as it sounded. When it comes to portable power stations, this unit is about as average as they get. This is like the baseline standard for what you expect. It has no hidden party tricks or anything to surprise you. It does what it does very well. It has a cattle battery, if that means anything to you. And it also has some things that I just do not understand, like this door right here that just doesn't close. It's one of the first units that we've played with that has a nice colored touch screen, but overall, it's just meh. You guys know here at the lab, our opinions cannot be bought. So we will leave some links down below if you want to check out the Mango Power E, which you might want to do after we talk about the price because it's confusing. Otherwise, we're gonna jump into a super quick 2-minute teardown for everyone that is not already familiar with this unit. First up, this thing passed the tiny baby lift test. It only weighs 100 pounds, but for some reason it feels like it weighs a lot more. I think it's just a really awkward shape. This unit has a 3,500 watt-hour lithium iron phosphate battery, and it's actually a cattle battery. And that just means that the standards for the battery inside of this unit are higher than most other power stations because these are EV grade batteries. This unit is expandable. You can get it up to 14 kilowatt hours. It has a 3,000 watt pure sine wave inverter, but it only does 120 out of a single unit. So you still actually need 2 units to get 240. When it comes to putting power into the Mango Power E, it has a 3,000 watt AC input, which is really good compared to the battery size. And it also has a 2,000 watt solar input. So that means you could fully charge this unit with solar in just about 2 hours. When it comes to ports, this thing has a dedicated 30 amp. It is a true 30 amp plug, which I actually really like. It has 4 120 volt house outlets on the front. So you have 6 24 watt USB-A's, and then you have a 65 watt and a 100 watt USB-C, which is perfect for laptops and bigger things like that. You also have 2 barrel connectors and a 12 volt car socket on the front right here. In terms of inputs, you have a 2,000 watt solar input, you have a 3,000 watt AC input, and then you also have 2 E-Link ports. One of those is to connect the unit to another unit, and the other one is to connect the unit to an expansion battery. When it comes to screen on this guy, it actually has a beautiful color touchscreen that doesn't really do anything at all, which is kind of disappointing. It's got the little suitcase handle that comes out at the top, and it's got some nice wheels on the back right here so you can roll it around nice and easily. It also has these nice little rubber handle grips on the top right here, which do make it nice and easy to pick this thing up. You feel like you have a nice handle on it. I actually do not mind these grips right here. Otherwise, there's not a whole lot going on with this unit. It's pretty simple, it's pretty basic, and when it comes to price, it's an absolute free-for-all. I normally hate talking about the price section, so we started sticking to the MSRP, but this unit in specific, we found the price is I can't understand what it is I'm looking at. And so here's what we found. This unit is listed for $4,250 on Mango's website. It's on sale for $3,199. Shop Solar has this unit on sale for $2,699. But what's really weird is on Mango's site, it's on sale for $3,199. If you add a solar panel to this, it gets cheaper. This with panels is $2,099. And then if you add 2 of them with the 240 volt hub, it gets even cheaper, and you get all of that for $4,499. And it just keeps going. The more units and batteries and even other different batteries that they make that you add to the bundles with this thing, the more the price doesn't really increase. So in that aspect, this is a really interesting unit. I'm as confused as you guys, and it's kind of discouraging to see that nobody really have a full grip on the price of this unit, but at the same time, I kind of like it because if it's a free-for-all and you can snag it for a sweet deal, you might win. And aside from being kind of enthused by the fact that this unit doesn't really have a set in stone price, what I really, really like about the Mango Power E is that it's not wearing a cape, it doesn't think it's a hero, it's not trying to be anything that it's not. Like I said already, one of my favorite things about this unit is actually the cattle batteries. It sounds like a really dumb name, but that is a solid manufacturer. They make tons of batteries. The grade, like the quality of these batteries are higher than you find in a lot of the other units. And they're rated for really cold and really hot temperatures because they're EV grade. And like you guys know, if you buy a Tesla, you don't just necessarily live in California. You could live in Canada, you could live in Mexico, you could live wherever and drive that Tesla. And sure, it'll fluctuate a little bit when it comes to how long the battery life lasts, but a lot of these other units don't have cold weather ratings at all, and especially with the lithium batteries, if they get pretty cold, sometimes they could just not work. I also like that it has a 10-year warranty. That's like insane. Most companies give a 3-year warranty, a 5-year warranty. I'd never have talked about warranties, I don't think, until this unit. That's something to write home about. I also really just like the input settings on this thing. They're pretty highly rated compared to the battery size. Most of the time you see a 3000 watt or 3500 watt hour battery, and you'll see like a 1500 watt or 1000 watt solar input, and it's like not impressive. 2000 watt solar input, 3000 watt AC input, both mean you can get power into this unit very, very quickly, although the AC port has some questionable functions when it's plugged in, but regardless, you could charge it really quick, and I like that. You guys know I talk about this every time there's a true 30 amp plug on the front of a unit. I absolutely love those. That makes your trailer, RV life so easy to just wheel this thing in there, plug your whole trailer, your RV right into this plug, you're done. And I also really like the fans in this unit, and it's relatively quiet. It's a lot quieter than the Delta Pro. And honestly, I just like the overall design of this unit. For example, this unit right here under the front actually has a little handle. So you can actually just grab it under here, pull it up just a little bit and wheel it away from the wall. I like the suitcase handle, though it is a little bit flimsier than some of the other ones I've seen. I really, really like the layout of all the plugs, output and input. Most units, they have plugs everywhere, dude. It makes it really hard to put this cleanly in your house. This is gonna be one of the cleanest units to put in a corner and leave there. And I like putting units in a corner because they're kind of like in the edge of the room or the garage or whatever. They're out of the way, they're clean, and it's nice. With this unit, there's nothing on this side and there's absolutely nothing on the back. So if you put it in a corner like this, you have access to all of your output plugs and all of your input plugs, and you never need to move it. Seems like a small detail, but that goes a long way. And like I said, this is a pretty average unit. There's nothing crazy that I love about this unit that makes the things we like section longer than it has to be. Unfortunately, there is a few extra things in the things we don't like section, and the first two that drive me the most nuts are, first up, the screen. It does exactly, like it's perfect. It's like a phone. It really, really works. The problem is that you can really only do AC on and off, and then like settings on there, and the settings on there are very limited. Even all the stuff up and down the left side, like that's not buttons, those are just notifiers. There's nothing to click. One of the things that you should really probably most important for you to know versus just irks me is that this unit does not have AC pass-through. I was using this unit the other day and it started to get low on battery. You can see right now it's plugged into the wall and there's a load running off of this thing. And it says right here, remaining time 9%. My AC load is about 110, 120 watts. It shows that the grid is lit up. So you can actually see, if you go ahead and unplug this, that little grid light turns completely off. If you plug it back in, it comes right back on, but it's not accepting power. Their home backup pro kit that they sell on their website, sure, it switches over when the grid goes down. It'll switch over to the Mango unit super quickly. But if you're using a Mango unit and it's getting low and you don't have sun, it's over. It didn't let me put power into it while I was taking power out of it. And just before people start commenting, this thing is fully up to date. The software on the app, I've checked it multiple times. There's no updates, there is nothing. It just doesn't work. I don't think we have a unit in the lab that doesn't allow AC pass-through. Anker C800X, AC on, wall power plugged in, 84 watts out, 276 watts in, works. 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 Dude, even the Veto Man works. And this thing doesn't work. Not only does it not work, every single unit that I just plugged in, except for the Delta Pro Ultra, because it has a very high input capacity, I only used this one plug. This thing has its own fancy plug, still doesn't work. And now I'm curious if it'll actually work with the sun. The next day we had some sun, so I took this unit outside and I plugged into 4 panels in series, because another problem that this unit has is it has a 60 volt minimum input for solar. But that means that you need about 4 18 volt panels run in series, so they're all plugged into each other, and then both one panel on each end plugs into this unit to be able to even put solar into it. And so that also is important to know if you're looking at this for like a portable power station. This Jackery 1000, right? This is meant to be a portable power station, take it camping, whatever. It has a 12 volt minimum. So you could have one 100 watt solar panel with like partial sun on it, producing less than normal voltage. This will turn on and be like, oh yeah, I'm plugged into solar, I'm taking some power. This needs 3 to 4 panels plugged in full sun to even register that there is solar going into the unit, which is just annoying if you're trying to go somewhere and travel with a power station, especially when they make videos of it in a Jeep, going camping, all that kind of stuff. You have to travel with 4 panels. I put this thing outside in the sun. I had 4 panels plugged into it. It was registering like 400 or something watts that day. And it did let me pass through. So I was able to have solar going in and then plug in our little portable heater and run it at the same time. And once that worked, I was like, okay, the firmware is up to date, everything's good. I brought it back in the garage and I tested it again. It still didn't work with the AC pass through. So a lot of people will have a unit like this, and if they don't have sun and they're using this for emergency backup and like, I'm gonna plug it into a generator or I'm gonna plug it into another unit I have to put power into it, you can't use it. You have to unplug this, move it, and use a different solution for the time being. You can't fire up a gas generator, run power from the gas generator into this for the time being. It won't pass the power back through to your house or your RV or anything like that. I think probably the thing that drove me the most nuts with this unit was the app. The app paired with just functionality that this unit provides. So actually, every single unit that we have in the garage right now that you can see in this shot that has an app, you can do everything on Bluetooth. You can hook units up to your Wi-Fi so you can control them through the internet, set different settings, whatever. But this unit does not. It says it has Bluetooth, but when you connect on Bluetooth on the app, the only thing it lets you do is use that Bluetooth connection to set up the Wi-Fi connection. This is a portable power station. It's got wheels, it's got a handle. If you put this in the back of your Jeep and drive into a field, guess what you don't have access to? The settings. You can't go in the settings at all because you can't use the app with Bluetooth. You have to use the app with Wi-Fi. So that's weird. But then once you get into there, you realize there's no settings. The app shows you, like most, your input, your output, and the temperature of the unit. You can turn them on and off from the app, which is nice. All you can do from the app is change your max input current from 10 amps, 15 amps, 20 amps, or 30 amps, sorry, and your battery backup capacity, 85% up to 95%, and turn on your AC DC. You can't do anything else from the app, and that's the same things you could do right here from the screen. It makes the app pointless, absolutely pointless. It just makes the unit overall very limiting. You get what you get and have a good day. I also really don't like this door flap. I don't know if ours came broken or what the deal is, but it doesn't stay closed. Push it and push it up, it closes a little bit, but if you bump the unit, it comes back out. And something to go hand in hand with that is I hate these ports. These style plugs. So you basically have like this threaded, this case, the solar input is a 2-prong. These cords are extremely unit specific. There's no other unit I have that shares these cords. If you break them, you have to pay the full retail price for this cord because it's not a generic one that you can buy. And if you guys know me at all, you know that I don't like that there is no light on this unit. And this unit is sold specifically geared towards home backup, emergency backup. And when they gear it towards home backup and they say that this thing is meant for home backup, just be thrilled if we could have a light on the unit so that when you need to see, you can see. And I think the last thing that I just don't like about the Mango Power E is that aside from it having a really cool name and it, you hope that when you see something that says Mango Power, it sounds cool, it'll do something cool. There's not one thing that this unit does or has that I can tell you about that is unique or fun. There's nothing to talk about in terms of test results, like nothing to talk about with this unit. And I don't like that. And when it comes to comparisons, the Mango Power E stacks up very weirdly to the rest of the market. Now, that's probably because it's been out for a little while. And first up is one of our favorite units that has come out this year, which is the Anker F3800. Now, this is definitely a heavier unit. It definitely has some things that I don't like that I do like about this unit, such as there's plugs and ports on this side and plugs and ports on this side. And then the front is not very well taken advantage of, so you can't put this thing in a corner or whatever, but it has a lot of stuff that I really, really like. It has caster wheels on the front, so even though the handle's on the back, it's a little bit more easy to maneuver around. It's expandable way beyond what this is expandable. The screen is good, the app is so much better. And when it comes to functions and options and things you could change and customize, this unit is outstandingly better than this. You can go nuts with the app on this unit, and I really like that. So this unit has a 3,500 watt-hour battery with a 3,000 watt inverter, and it costs $4,250, let's say MSRP. This unit has a 3,800 watt-hour battery. It has a 6,000 watt inverter. It does split phase out of one unit. So this unit right here has a 50 amp plug. It has an L14 generator plug on the side. You can run 240 directly out of the unit. It retails MSRP full price, $3,999. And it's been on a pretty permanent sale that we've noticed for about $2,999, which is a really good price. And so moral is, if you're just comparing bang for buck, aside from features, aside from everything, this is hard to beat, dude. This is very, very hard to beat. Another solid competitor, doesn't matter what you're comparing it to, is the Delta Pro. And this unit should not be new to anybody. Bottom line, when it comes to facts, 3,600 watt-hour battery, 3,600 watt inverter. The MSRP on this was $3,700, but it's been out for a couple years at this point, and I don't think it's gone over $3,000 in the last 6 months. You can't do 240 out of a single unit, so they share that. They're still both 120 units, but this one has a load more features. Again, the app is just way more packed. It's, in my opinion, even though I might have griped about the design and stuff on this before, it has some better design aspects. Like, I just prefer to use this over this unit. Even though this one fits nicely in a corner, whatever, there's just more you can do with a unit like this. And if you're looking at a Mango Power E, the odds are that you're a little bit more okay with buying a slightly more like off-brand name than an Anker or an EcoFlow. I would even look at the Zender Super Bass V. We just made a full video about this. It's actually hilarious. It has a ton of features that you don't really need. It kind of reminds me of a Tesla, the way it has like these big LED lights. It has motorized wheels. You could drive it around from the app. This has a 4,600 watt-hour battery. It has a 3,800 watt inverter, and it's also a few years old, so it's been on a permanent-ish sale for about $4,500. So even this at full price and this at full price are pretty close, and you just get more out of this. This unit just stacks up weird. It's just hard to find. Like, this unit crushes little units, but when it comes to similarly sized and priced comparables, it's just really hard to find something that doesn't eat it for breakfast. So at the end of the day, you want to know, should you buy the Mango Power E? I don't know. It does what it does really well. The warranty is great. It has a 30 amp plug on the front, and it has the Cattle batteries, which is important. When it comes to features or anything to write home about, versatility using an app, any of those kind of things, there's just not a whole lot to talk about. Personally, I would honestly recommend the F3800 or the Delta Pro. Even though the Delta Pro is a little bit louder of a unit, that is not necessarily the worst. It's just something to note. I still think Mango is a great brand. I would just love to see their next generation of this unit kick some ass, because I think that they really have the potential, they have the cool name, and they have the relationships with the companies that matter. So that is all I got for you guys. If you guys still don't know what unit you're in the market for, we put together a quick little quiz of units that we recommend to you, not just some hot dog that someone's trying to sell you. So there's a link to that in the description. There's links to all the units we talked about. Check it out or don't. Either way, I will catch you guys in the next one. Thank you guys so much for watching. Peace out and stay charged.